and welcome to part 2 of this building blocks Pilates Matwork session. We're going to come onto our backs now into relaxation position, so grab a head cushion if you need it to support your heads. And we're going to start off with a really simple exercise just for our ankles, and then we're going to end up eventually doing an exercise called the raised battement, where we're moving the spine and the legs and the ankles. So let's come down and get started. So feet are hip width apart, a little bit of space between your knees, and gently lower yourself down onto your back into your relaxation position. We're going to keep the arms just long to your sides, the back of your head heavy into the mat or into your cushion. Feel the tailbone sinking down into the floor and the weight of your thighs dropping into your hips. Feel the lumbar curve of your lower back has its natural curve, so just watch you haven't pushed your lower back into the mat. Your hips, your pubic bone are level with one another. The chest is really heavy through the back of the breastbone, and then feel that sense of width across your chest. So let's start with the right leg. We're going to stretch that leg out in front of us and let the leg be really relaxed, but we're going to point your foot as much as you can and then flex your foot as much as you can. Breathe in to point, breathe out to flex. So as you start to move your foot in the ankle joint, you'll notice how the calf muscles work as you point your foot, and how the muscles at the front of your shin work as you flex your foot, helping you to curl those toes back towards your face. Make that your last one. And then you can slide the leg back up and switch over to the left leg. And we do exactly the same thing again. Pointing on the in-breath, flexing on the out-breath. So we're isolating the movement to the ankle joint, keeping the leg as heavy as you can. But as I say, you'll definitely feel those little muscles of the lower legs working. We'll do 2 more. And then bend that left knee, slide it back up. So now let's make this a little bit more work for the body. We're going to do the same ankle movement, but adding in a lifting and lowering leg. So come back to that right leg stretching out in front. We're going to point the foot and lift the leg to where you can maintain a neutral pelvis. Flex your foot, push the leg all the way down. Breathe in as you point and lift. Breathe out to flex and lower. So your leg will only be able to rise up to where you can maintain that natural curve for your lower back and where you can maintain that lovely stability in the pelvis. So for most of us, we're getting around about the height of the other knee, slightly lower, maybe slightly higher. Finish that last set on the right side, and then slide that heel, rest the right leg on the mat, switch to the left. Breathe in to point and lift, breathe out, flex and lower. In order to help you to keep your keep your pelvis still, you're going to have to use those abdominal muscles of the stomach and the pelvic floor, just to try to hold the pelvis nice and still, so it doesn't end up tipping and pressing into the mat. So that would be a loss of that pelvic stability. So you want to hold it as steady as you can. You'll also notice the thigh muscles working as you pull the leg up, and the back of the leg working as you press the leg down. Last one on the left. And then pressing down, sliding the heel back up, and then just coming back to your starting position. So let's come into some spine curls now to get some lovely movement into the spine, into the pelvis, and then we're going to add on that leg movement at the end. So we start off with the pelvis in a neutral position. We take a breath in. As you breathe out, tilt the pelvis towards your face, press your lower back into the mat, lift your bum. Bone by bone, peel the spine away from the floor. Keep heavy in the chest. Breathe in there and breathe out as you roll back down. Bone by bone by bone. Big breath in at the bottom Breathing out as you come up again. Breath in at the top and breathing out as you roll back down. So you'll feel the back of the legs working, the bottom, the hamstrings to help you push up. Keep those big toes pressing down into the mat. Keep the little toes pressing down into the mat. So really use your feet to rise up through the bottom and through the hips. Think of that lovely long line from the knees to the shoulders as you reach your full spine curl position. And we'll do one last set. Now let's add in the legs. So this is called the raised battement. And we did this a couple of weeks ago in the class, but we didn't do the full version with the ankles as well. So we start off with your spine curl, your rise up. Then you're going to straighten your right leg from the knee, pointing the foot, lift upwards. Flex the foot, press down. Point, lift up. Flex, press down. Keeping the pelvis as steady, as level as you can. Bend the right knee. Roll your spine all the way back into the mat. Breathe out as you come back up. Breathe in to extend and lift the leg. Breathe out, flex and lower. Breathe in to point and lift. Breathe out, flex and lower. We'll do 3 sets. And then bend that knee and roll down through the spine. So let's do 2 more sets to each side. Just working at your own pace. Maintaining that stability in the pelvis and the spine once you're up in the spine curl. One thing that you could consider doing, if it helps, is the next time you come up into your spine curl, place your hands just very lightly under your bum, and they'll give you that feedback if the pelvis is dropping to one side or if the bottom is lowering. You should be able to feel that with your hands. Just a very light touch gives you that feedback. So we're doing one last set to each side. And then finishing on the left. The right leg working hard to hold you up there as your left leg moves up and down. Then coming all the way back to the mat to finish. You could stretch out your legs to release the hamstrings if you need to. Some of you might prefer to hug your knees to your chest and release the lower backs. When you feel that you're ready to continue, come back into your relaxation position, knees bent, feet flat onto the floor, hip width apart, parallel. So the next sequence we're going to do is starting with a tricep press and then building up to our coordination exercise, where we're moving arms and legs whilst holding a curl up position. So we're going to start with the head heavy on the mat. Long arms hover just off the floor, drawing the shoulders down the back, away from the ears. As you breathe out, you bend your elbows. As you breathe in, you straighten the elbows. The hands are going to come up just above the shoulder joint, so try not to bring them all the way back to your shoulders. So above the elbow joint, I hope I said. Breathing in to lengthen away, breathe out to bend. And hopefully you'll feel the back of the arms switch on as you straighten them, so those triceps engaged. Last one there. And then let your arms rest to your sides. Relax the shoulders. Maybe give your head a little turn from side to side. So now we'll come into the next phase where we add in a curl up whilst holding legs in a double knee fold position if that's possible for you, and then doing our tricep presses. So let's first of all bring the legs into a double knee fold, but you can keep them on the mat if you need to. Glue the legs together, glue the feet together. Then your arms are going to lengthen and hover as you nod your chin, lift your head and curl up. Then we're going to bend the elbows, and that's our starting position. As you breathe in, straighten the arms, breathe out to bend. Remember that you're looking down to the tummy, watching the belly button draw in towards your body, helping you to keep your upper body curling off the mat. Anytime you need to come back to rest, you bring your head down. I'm going to do 2 more sets. And then I'm going to lift my arms to the ceiling, rest my head, and then bring the arms back and bring the feet back. And again, just let the head gently roll from side to side. So now we're going to add in the legs, and the idea is that the legs will straighten at the same time as the arms, but there'll be a slight delay in that the legs will come back slightly before the arms. So this is where it gets its name coordination from. So we come back to that double knee fold position. Let's actually bring the arms up above the chest, and then as the arms lower, your head will float up and your chest will float up. Bend the elbows to start, and we're ready to go. As you breathe in, legs and arms straighten. As you breathe out, legs come back, then the arms. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, remember to look down to the tummy. I know it's always interesting watching the feet, but the more you can curl your neck, the more you protect the neck. So hopefully you can hold that curl up for a little bit longer. We're going to do 1 more set. And then rest your head, rest your feet, and rest the arms. Again, roll your head gently from side to side. The last phase is a little opening and closing of the legs. So this engages the outer thighs, the adductors, and the inner thighs, the abductors. Other way around, adductors on the inner side, abductors on the outer. So let's try and give this a go. Keep the movement really small, don't go too big. When you're ready, float your arms to the ceiling, legs come up one at a time, arms float down, head comes up, bend your arms, and we're ready to go. We breathe in, open, close, breathe out. Breathe in, open, close, breathe out. Remember, long arms, keep looking down to the pelvis or to the tummy. 2 more sets. Last one. And then lift your arms, rest your head. You can give your knees a little hug to the chest if that feels good, or you can stretch your legs out again, and you can release the tummy with some nice big stretches. Let's come just to a few little hip rolls to release the tummy after that. So bring your knees back, bent, feet are flat into the mat, arms a little wider to your sides, palms up to the ceiling. Keeping the shoulders really heavy, the pelvis will tip over to one side, the legs will follow. You could look to the opposite shoulder and then come back to the center. Breathe out to roll, breathe in to pause, and breathe out to come back. Make this your last set. And then from there we'll transition, and this time onto our tummies. So take your time as you roll over. I'm just going to bring my head to the other end of the mat. We're going to start off with another leg exercise. We're going to start with single leg kick prep, and then we're going to finish with the full version of double leg kick, where we're lifting the head, the chest, and moving the arms and kicking the legs. So again, like we've just done with the previous exercises, we start off slow and steady, and then we increase the challenges. So anywhere along the way, feel free to stop if you don't want to keep going to the next phase. So first of all, bring your head onto your hands, or maybe onto a little head cushion. Your legs are stretched right back behind you, and glue them together. You can rest your head onto your hands or onto your mat. And we're going to draw your tummy gently up towards your spine. As you breathe out, bending the right knee, kick, kick, and breathe into stretch. Breathe out, left knee, and stretch. So you're going to add that little pulsing kick, drawing the tummy to the spine to help give you that support for the lower back. And then think of using the out breath for that pulse. So we breathe out, breathe in to straighten. Breathe out, breathe in to straighten. We'll do 2 more sets to each leg, warming up those knees, feeling that length at the front of the leg, and that strength in the bottoms. So give your bum a little wiggle if you need to release any tension, or push back into rest position if that's better for you. Let's come into double leg kick now. So it's the same thing, both legs kicking at the same time. So glue them together. As you breathe out, breathe in to straighten. Breathe out, breathe in to straighten. So really nice, active, connected legs. Don't forget the tummy stays engaged throughout. 2 more sets. And then again, relax the legs, give your bum a little wiggle, or push back into rest position. So now we're going to add in the arms and the upper body, but the legs will stay relaxed initially. So let's turn the head to one side, maybe to watch me, it might be easier. Take your hands behind your back, and you can rest your hands on your lower back, or maybe your mid back, or on your bum. Wherever it's easiest and most relaxing to hold and rest your arms. Try and let the elbows be as heavy as possible, as wide as possible. And keep the legs connected together, but they'll stay on the floor for now. You might find the bum squeezes a little bit as you start to lift up, that's fine. So we're going to start off by sliding your hands down your body towards your feet. And as the arms get longer, the shoulders, the chest will lift, and you'll be able to turn your head to look the other way. Rest your head, bend your arms, rest the body. Breathe in, straighten your arms, lift your chest, turn your head, and breathe out to rest. Remember, keep the tummy pulling up to your spine, giving your lower back support. Think of getting longer in the body, long arms, long chest, the front of the body lengthening, while the back of the body gets stronger. This is going to be your last one. And then rest back down and bend your arms. Let's add in the double kick. So we start off with the knees bent, glued together, and we start with the kick. So you're going to breathe out, kick, kick, breathe in, straighten the legs, the arms, lift your chest, turn your head. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Let's do 2 more sets. And when you're finished, rest your arms. You can bring them under your shoulders, push yourself back into child's pose, rest position, or feel free to roll onto your back, give your knees a nice big hug to your chest. You could have the arms stretching out in front of you in your rest positions, or make a little pillow with your hands for your head, or maybe you want to relax the shoulders and let your arms come back behind you or to your sides and just let the shoulders drop and hang. Take a couple more big breaths, whichever position you're choosing. And then draw the tummy in, roll yourself back up. And from there, we're going to come into a 4-point kneeling position. So hands under shoulders. If you need a cushion for your knees, pop a little cushion underneath the knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Make sure there is space between the knees and think of that lovely long straight spine. You've got the natural curve for the lower back, but your tummy is lifting up to support your lower back. So we're going to start with tabletop legs, just the legs, working, alternating one leg at a time. So keep the upper body nice and still, draw the tummy to the spine, right leg slides back behind us, take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift the foot. Breathe in to lower, breathe out, slide the knee back in. This should ring some bells for when you were doing your standing on one leg exercise. So as you alternate the legs, we're trying to keep the body as centered as possible. So if you focus on a point in front of you, towards the top edge of your mat, you should feel that the body stays pretty still as you alternate the legs. You're not swaying and leaning from side to side. Let's do one more set to each side. Remember, the pelvis stays level, no rotating in the spine or the hips. And when you finish, you can come back and rest, maybe all the way back to child's pose, or just a low kneeling position. Give the wrists a little shake out. Next we'll come into a tricep press. So again, we're working the backs of the arms. For this exercise, the key is to think of going forwards and downwards rather than backwards and downwards. So in fact, the bum shouldn't move at all. It should stay right above the knees. So I like to bring my hands a little wider apart for this version. Remember that middle finger, it lined up with the middle of your wrist. Soften the elbows, long in the spine, and the tummy drawing towards the spine. As you breathe in, you're going to bend your elbows towards your hips backwards, and your head will go forwards and downwards. Breathe out as you push away. Breathe in to go down. Breathe out to push back up. So you need to feel that your body is staying really long and straight, and you're folding, hinging from the hip joint and from the elbow joints. Remember, those elbows are going backwards rather than sideways. If they go sideways, it's not the end of the world. You're just working your biceps more than your triceps. We want to work the triceps. So send the elbows back in towards your hips as you lower yourself towards the top of your mat. 2 more sets. Last one. And then come back and rest again. Give the wrists a little circle or a shake. And we're ready for the last little variation. I'm just going to spin to the other side because I want you to see how my leg goes up as my body goes down. So bring yourself back into 4-point kneeling. We're going to start with a long, straight and lifted right leg. And you're in the same tricep press position with your hands. Now as your upper body goes forwards and downwards, you'll notice the leg will automatically go upwards, and then we push away. Keep the leg where it is, take a breath in, bend the elbows, breathe out, push back up. So the body, hopefully from the toes to the crown of your head, is in a horizontal line to start, and then a lovely diagonal line as you push away. We'll do one last one on this side, and then we'll swap sides. So left leg extends and lifts, hips are level, shoulders are level, breathe in to come down, breathe out to push back. Remember, the elbows are still coming towards the hips, towards the body rather than sideways. Last one to finish. And then bring the knees back down. Sit yourself all the way back into rest position. Stretch yourself out if you need to. And as always, feel free to give the wrists a circle to release any tension. Good work, well done. We're going to finish one last little sequence on the mat in gate pose, high kneeling. So I'll see you for part 3 in just a moment. Well done. Bye for now.